So today I would like to celebrate with you two birthdays. AI and video gaming turned 70 years old. And during the last 70 years, they crafted a relationship that leads today to brand new areas to explore. In 1948, Alan Turing wrote an article about intelligent machinery, which is a foundation for the principles of machine learning. His guiding principle is an analogy with the human brain. Turing points out that proper education is at the core of human intelligence. He gives simple examples of such machines that can learn by means of rewards and punishments. This academic experiment is considered as the first video game in history. It's fully analog. No lines of codes, neither AI were required for this ballistic game. We've been making games and video games for decades, and AI has been at the core of our production processes or to shape the player's interactions. So why are we here to discuss about AI? Why is it considered as a new or disruptive topic for many domains, including our industry? Let's start with a hint. This is how we made cinematics in Assassin's Creed Origins 2 years ago.
A real one, yeah.
Go ahead.
You're gonna love it. There's like 16 hyenas, and it's so dark and scary. Well, you know what? I'd rather go home with my papa. You always get too scared.
Hey. Let's go on a real hunt. Huh?
All right.
Come.
As you can see, this requires capturing a lot of data and many people from many different crafts. The logistics of such traditional method is expensive and not flexible. For example, each retake requires a lot of efforts and mobilization. Can AI have a concrete impact that shakes the foundations of our pipelines? Let's ask someone who's been heavily impacted by AI last year. Bayek, can you explain us how disruptive AI is?
Hello everyone. Creating in-game cinematics requires many skilled professionals such as motion capture, animation, and dialogue experts. 1 year ago, it would have involved hours of manual work to record and animate this dialogue. Now, what if I told you that everything about me is driven by artificial intelligence? My voice has been generated from a simple text file, which then drives my lips animation. It's totally automatic, takes just a few minutes, and soon will work in real time. And the best thing, it works in any language.
Par exemple, je parle le français avec un accent canadien.
I'm not sure what the limits are, but it gives you an idea of the incoming magnitude of changes for many professions involved in video games, such as animation and dialogue experts.
Unless you've been intentionally avoiding the news last year, you have heard about AI. But what is this exactly? What is the part of artificial intelligence that has recently evolved exponentially? AI represents a concept of machines that can learn, reason, and act for themselves. Machine learning is a subset of AI. There are programs using statistics to find patterns in massive amount of data and then use those patterns to make predictions on new data. Deep learning can be seen as machine learning on steroids. It extracts features or learns from complex data in order to make a prediction in new situation. For example, it can be used for image recognition or natural language processing. And because it's still exploratory, we live a time of excessive expectations followed by excessive disappointments. Although all technologies follow a similar fate, the topic is usually misunderstood for some very specific reasons. the nature of machine learning brings uncommon challenges. First, it goes very fast. Most of our processes or production life cycles hurt our innovation capacity. Second, it requires data, expertise, and a valuable application. Few companies have the three. It brings up industrially interesting results, but mostly popping at a comedic stage. Therefore, it grows in a culture of openness and publication that goes against most industrial habits. It also goes against most regulations or requires to create some. It raises important questions such as the authoring of generated assets, data ownership, data privacy. And did I mention it goes fast? A relevant demo probably hit the internet since I started talking. So to understand the new outcomes of AI and video games, it is important to understand their context, how they have been developed using each other's, and the intimacy they created over time. First, some definitions. A game is all about skills development. Kids learn a lot through games, first aligning shapes and colors, but also learning tactics and even to socialize. Artificial intelligence seek to make human-grade decisions. Games, and by extension video games, represent an ideal setup to compare decision-making of AI and humans. The research in AI has been paved with such breakthroughs, and we all remember the match between Kasparov and Deep Blue more than 20 years ago. So it means that for decades, games have served as benchmarks for AI. But video games have evolved too. On the left, you see how we made a racing game 20 years ago. It's a closed circuit, and the city is just here for decoration. On the right, racing is only one feature of a game. The city is now full of rich interactions and populated by many characters or different types of vehicles. This change has been made possible thanks to new technologies, and AI has provided many of the tools that enabled those evolutions. In the history of their development, AI and video games have followed intricate tracks. But after 7 decades of mutual influence, both have reached a new level. It's now a good time to reinvent the relationship. Let's start to see how. Our success comes from our innovations. Our sustainability comes from our ability to reproduce them. Every technology or process follows a life cycle. First, it takes time to provide convincing results. Then, most problems are overcome, and the recipe is improved over time before reaching a plateau. Then a new technology emerges, like artificial intelligence. Today, it produces results that are globally less performant than our well-established recipes. But how much time will it take to be on par? We think it's going to be 2 to 3 years. So, how do we explore this area? This is a type of open world we create at Ubisoft. We offer rich interactions for the players, and all of this requires tons of data, textures, animations, dialogues, models, but also AI to drive the world's components' behavior. Those simulations offer appealing challenges for the science, but also very interesting assets to solve them. As gaming industry, we have 2 great assets. Game engines that can be used to train or test artificial intelligence. We also have lots of very specific data, such as animation data, textures, dialogues. Creating or using these data is key to the development of deep learning. But how do you make it happen when AI is still essentially at academic level? This is a path of innovation, and this is a scale of love. The academic world puts a lot of love on the left side of innovation. A good researcher is known by the quality and the quantity of his or her research publications. At Ubisoft, we focus on creating amazing experiences. So when we try to collaborate on academic topics such as AI, there is in the middle what I call the gap of wasted ideas. Almost 3 years ago, we decided to bridge this gap. Ubisoft La Forge is an open place where we bring in our people and researchers to work on prototypes that serve both interests. Make greater games while creating public knowledge. Researchers at La Forge have access to everything, like our employees do. Our data, our experts, our technologies, our facilities. We've been working on those cutting-edge topics for a few years now. We learned that AI could serve as assistance for our creators. This is the most common usage of AI, automating the part of the work that is redundant and lets creators focus on creating. It also opens up new possibilities and features to improve our players' experience. But we also discovered that the playground of our open world might be a lobby to the real world. Let me share with you some concrete examples. As professionals from the gaming industry, we know that behind the curtain, there's a lot of technology and science going on. Our industry reaches a point where not only are we technology consumers, but our innovations have a potential of broader and richer impact. All the following examples are new prototypes from Ubisoft. Don't tell anyone. If it leaks, I know it's going to be you. Animations are key to make our worlds believable. They convey a lot in terms of sound and feedback for the gameplay, but also key to making coherent systems and enticing worlds. Assassin's Creed is a franchise recognized for the quality of its open worlds. History is our playground. However, the size and the richness of a world leads to technical trade-offs. As an example, you can see here that characters feel a bit on a rail if you pay attention. Is there a way to create more diverse and organic animations while simplifying the production process? This is an example of data-driven animation, or, in other words, an AI that generates the right motion animation. Not only does it require less production effort, it will offer more appealing feel for the player. This changes our pipelines and the way we work. We need to manage efficiently all those animations, and tagging them manually is not practical. So, we developed an AI-based search engine prototype that is able to recognize the type of emotion. So let's say you want to add different run motions, the points in yellow. The AI automatically finds the animations in green that are most similar to your selection, the dot in red. It means that the AI is able to classify motion data. As an animator, it gives the ability to quickly find a variety of animations instead of producing them. But navigating in huge databases is not only the challenge of animators. Motion capture was a technology used initially in healthcare. Like a radiography helps to diagnose your bones, motion capture measures motion. So let's pretend your knee has been injured? What if a doctor could capture your motion and immediately compare it to a huge database and find the closest cases associated and the associated therapies and results? Creating believable open worlds, such as living cities, is a challenge. Traditional AI programming includes a lot of static condition. If this happens, then do that. Rich ecosystems lead to code that is difficult to tweak and to maintain. What if we let cars learn how to drive instead of telling them when to steer? Do you remember Turing? Reinforcement learning is a very specific area of AI where you give to your agents high-level goals, rules, and rewards. So in our case, we give an AI agent access to a steering wheel, brakes, accelerator, and give some rewards when it succeeds in following a trajectory or stop at intersections, and punishments when it fails. Then the AI will try and learn to maximize its reward, thus developing a strategy to drive. This is for single agents like cars or characters. We can apply the same kind of techniques for multi-agents like, say, traffic or crowds. On the left, we have a traditional type of path-finding algorithm. Each agent tries to optimize its own path. On the right, we have developed a new type of algorithm that works like a shared intelligence, like a flock, a swarm, or a crowd. It results as a more fluid and believable behavior, hence providing a richer experience. The gaming industry develops believable autonomous vehicles. In the real world, we want them to be reliable and safe. What if we used the power of gaming technology to simulate real-life transportation? Can we create specific scenarios or train and audit real-life vehicles, not only cars, but also drones? In huge open worlds, what is exactly the challenge of creating characters? And could our solutions have a broader impact?
Hi everyone. Rich interactions in believable virtual worlds require a huge diversity of characters and dialogues. Planning and maintaining all interactions in advance becomes daunting. Creating characters who can automatically react to a situation is key, and this system of dialogue is a first step.
Today my underlying technology helps game developers, and soon it will face players. And with richer emotions I might be useful in other areas. I'm already discussing with healthcare researchers to potentially help the treatment of people who have schizophrenia or anxiety.
Games are increasingly complex pieces of software. Hundreds of people contribute to programming a AAA game, developing thousands of systems that interact together. What if we leverage our history of programming features and solving bugs to create an AI that assists programmers? 1 year ago, we unveiled the Commit Assistant, an AI-fueled prototype able to predict if a developer was about to introduce a bug into the game's code. 1 year later, this prototype has led to a broader internal initiative called Clever Commit. We are now progressively reaching out all our productions worldwide, and Clever Commit predicts if a change contains a bug with a precision of 70%. We are also expanding to new challenges. Online technologies being more and more complex and less neutral. We opened a research initiative on predicting the stability of online services. This research aimed to help our developers in their day-to-day, but also to improve the online experience of players. But can other software development domains benefit from such breakthroughs? I'm happy to unveil a brand new partnership between two technology leaders, Mozilla, and Ubisoft. We are joining our forces by dedicating 5 experts from each company to work together on new tools and methods to increase code quality. We will be exchanging technologies, skills, knowledge with a common objective: building better software. AI has been an enabler for video games, and video games have been an enabler for AI. But after this young romance of 70 years old, their relationship is about to give birth to new opportunities, and our technologies, our expertise are starting to push the boundaries of the virtual world to solve real-life challenges. At Ubisoft La Forge, we discovered that our world might be the next open world. Thank you.